Hi guys, hope you're well. So you may have noticed on my channel that I uploaded a video about self-love, and I'm kind of going down that theme because obviously Valentine's Day is looming and I wanted to kind of reverse it. Not in an anti-Valentine's way, because actually, you know, if you do admire someone, if you do love someone, it's nice to tell them, and it's nice to be jogged into telling them and have kind of an occasion that calls for that. And also, if you're in a relationship, it's nice to kind of make time to go for a meal or tell them how much they mean to you, etc. But at the end of the day, it is still just a method for, you know, card shops, chocolate brands, flower stores and companies to make some money. So please don't kind of put too much importance on the day, because it is just a day. And let's face it, we should be telling people how we feel every day of the year. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the great things about being single. And I know some of you will say, well, that's easy for you to say because you're not. I have been single, and there have been times when I've thought it's great, and there obviously have been the times where I've been like Actually, looking back, I realised how wonderful it can be to be single, and I just wanted to remind you single subscribers about those reasons here today. If my boyfriend's watching, please don't take offence to this. I'm not saying I want to be single, so don't be dumping me, but I just wanted to highlight this. I find when I'm single, my productivity goes through the roof, or in my case, when Si's on tour or when he's away, I find I just work so hard. I can totally focus on my work, channel my energy. Usually my career flourishes a bit when I'm single. Obviously, this is a generalisation. Perhaps if you're not happy in your single state, that will have a detrimental effect on your productivity and stuff like that. But I find if I kind of embrace being single, focus on my work in this time, yeah, it's just, you have less distractions, you have less kind of people you have to share your time with perhaps, and you can really just knuckle down and get great results and just be really prolific with the work you're doing, and that makes you feel great. I always find that, you know, when I'm being busy, when I'm being productive, and when I feel like I'm doing good work, I generally feel better about myself, so that can only be a positive thing. You can go with your instincts, you can go with your whims, and you can book a ticket to travel, if money allows, to wherever you want. I'm not saying you can't do this in a relationship. It kind of depends on the sort of dynamic you have in your relationship and that sort of thing. But when you're single, you really don't feel like you've got to check in with someone and say, it's all right if I go away for 6 weeks, or if you've got the money and you feel you can do it, you can just book that ticket and you can go. And going travelling on your own is a hugely empowering thing to do. I know when I've done it, I've come back feeling like I could conquer anything, that I can survive anything. And you know, sometimes it is hard and things are tricky, but because you've had to work them out yourself and you've actually come out the other side and you've done it, it really helps your confidence. But even if it's not talking about a solo trip, it means, you know, if your friend goes, do you want to go to Ibiza in the next couple of weeks? You can go, if I can get time off work, yeah, hell yeah, I'd like to do that, please. That kind of freedom to make decisions and not have to run them by your partner is kind of nice. Hopefully you're in a relationship where you feel you can do that anyway, but it is a lot easier if you've just got to ask yourself and maybe your boss, and then you can go and do these amazing trips. This one, it was kind of inspired by Ally McBeal, and she said something, I can't get the quote exactly right, but something about how exciting the quest is when you're single. The fact that you've still got that discovery of that loved one to come, like that anticipation, that the search for Mr. or Mrs. Right, or Mr. and Mrs. Right now. And that's a really kind of lovely feeling. I remember when I went to school, it was always more exciting when there was someone you fancied or someone that you like the look of. It would kind of make you want to go to school more. And it's nice to kind of be able to look and think, he could be the one for me, she could be the one for me. And you know, the process sometimes, I know not everyone likes dating, but you know, meeting new people, learning what you do and don't want, it can be quite exciting, sometimes horrendous, but sometimes exciting too. I know when I speak to all my friends that are married or settled down, they all say that they kind of miss that excitement, that quest, that search, that hunt a little bit. Although they're happy, that's the aspect they miss the most. But if you're single, you've still got that ahead of you, so that's another good one. This is kind of linked to the one before, and that's the excitement. You know, when you've been on a date or you think you found someone you like or that likes you, and it's those initial texts when it's still exciting, when you feel the vibration, and that whenever the phone goes off you really hope it's them, and the messages are all like flirtatious or really sweet. It's when you still get those butterflies when you go to meet them, or even butterflies when you even think about them. I think that is, you know, I don't know if it's a feeling of hope or anticipation or just excitement about what the future holds, or just someone saying nice things. That is so exciting. Those early stages of a romance are just so great and should be great. This is something that's always peeved me about being in a relationship, and it's that you sometimes feel like you're losing your identity, you're just being an individual, because when you're single you're just known as your name, or perhaps you're known as your name plus what you do, so like Sophie the blogger or Sophie the journalist, whatever. And then suddenly when you're in a partnership you're known as, insert names, girlfriend or someone's other half. And while that can be nice, sometimes you just want to be known for you and what you do and what you've achieved and what you stand for, and not as someone's other half. And I know this is something that's really bugged me, and quite often in relationships I've made a point of going so far in the opposite direction and being so fiercely independent it's really riled the partner. Like I wouldn't post pictures of me with them, I wouldn't really talk about them on social media, because I wanted to get hired for my own merit or known for my own achievements, not because I was connected to someone. And you get that even more if you're connected to someone that's known for some reason. One thing I really love about being single is that you're just you, and nothing kind of clouds that. Yeah, I don't know if I explained that very well. When you're single, this is a great opportunity to kind of discover who you really are. I know this sounds a bit like hippy-dippy, but you really do get to know who you are, what you want out of life. During this time you can experiment and take risks. Some of them don't pan out, but because it's just you taking them, you're not necessarily affecting anyone else with these decisions, and you've kind of got free rein to kind of explore things. When you know who you are and what you want to be, life seems to pan out a bit better because you've got focus and direction and that sort of thing. So being single, you've really got that time to really be intensely kind of focused on finding yourself, and that's a really great thing. I think it's very important as well that before you embark on a relationship that you have tried to work on any issues that you know you have, maybe issues that stem from previous relationships, or perhaps just insecurities that you just have anyway and you don't really know why you have. Because you'll find if you do go into a relationship, these things will rear their head and perhaps cause issues and problems that don't need to be there. So it's really good to use this time just to get comfortable in your own skin and work on things that need to be worked on. I've never been someone that feels like they have to have a boyfriend to be happy. I think it's so important that you try to be someone that is content on their own, that can be happy on their own, that doesn't have to rely on a partner to be happy, because they should kind of be just like the icing on the cake, like the bonus. You should still be able to be content with yourself without them. Another one. Okay, this is a little bit silly maybe, I don't know, but you do save a little bit of money when you are single. I know it depends on who you are, because some single people actually splurge more money because they go out on the town, on the Raz all the time, going out on the pool or going out with friends all the time. So it's not always the case, but I know when I'm in a relationship I tend to go out for more meals, so I spend more money on that. And then when it comes to birthdays and Christmas, there's kind of this expectation these days that you're meant to get them really impressive gifts, so they're kind of Instagrammable and so you can shout about it on Twitter or whatever. I try to combat that and try and do some nice personal things, even handmade things with kind of sentiment and meaning to them. But there is that pressure that you need to get them something really impressive or really special, and that costs money that we don't have. So if you're single, when it comes to Christmas and birthdays, you don't have that extra pressure on top. And also, you don't have that difficulty at Christmas. I don't know if anyone else has this, where you don't know which house to spend it at, because your boyfriend wants you to spend it with them and their family, but then you feel like you should be at your family, and then you're torn in all directions. So that's another kind of hard bit about being in a relationship that singletons perhaps don't have. And the last reason, which is a really nice one, is that you can really focus on other relationships in your life. I'm not saying that you shouldn't when you're in a relationship, because you should still maintain those relationships. You shouldn't just let them go because you've got a boyfriend, although a lot of people do. But it means that you can, you know, channel even more time into your friendships, or perhaps relationships with your family or your colleagues, because your time isn't split so much between different people. So you might find when you're single, the relationships with your friends are even stronger, and it's so important to have, you know, good friends in your life, those honest but supportive, encouraging, you know, just people that make you feel better and support you, and but will give you advice and honest, brutal appraisal if needed. And obviously you can have some really fun, amazing times with friends when you're single, and create lots of memories that you'll look back on and laugh and cringe at, you know, and you can share all those awful date stories together, which is always a laugh as well. I hope this video helps if any of you are feeling low about being single, or if you're like dreading Valentine's Day or whatever. I just hope it's kind of made you realise how great a position you're in if you are single. And this isn't meant to make people in relationships feel bad either. There are some fantastic things about that too, but this one is for the single, single ladies and men. I don't know what that was. Cringe way to end a video. Anyway, lots of love, and I'll see you in the next video.